Hey guys, I'm going to show you how I make my wrapped wire jewelry. So I just want to show you guys a few pieces that I've made. This is a necklace I wear almost every day. It's made with tourmaline and clear quartz. They complement each other. All of the stones that I wrap are wrapped in copper wire. Copper wire is a conduit that helps whatever healing properties are in each crystal really bring them out more. All of the raw stones that I got recently, like this one, which is Aventurine, I ordered them online, but I had to rinse them off because they were a little dusty because they were so raw. So I rinsed them off and I packaged the ones that I couldn't fit in the containers in a little baggie. I also have these storage containers. Can't really see them that well, but I have different crystals in them. I labeled them. I have about 4 of them. This is the string that I use for my necklaces. I like to use gold because the gold complements the copper really well. And I ordered this string from Amazon, which comes in a package of 3 rolls. This one I haven't opened yet. This is the wire that I use. This is 18 gauges, and I also ordered this from Amazon. I found 24 gauge wire at Michael's for about $2 in the floral section. So this is cheaper, but it's a thinner wire. So it might not work as well if you want to wrap some larger crystals. So let's get into the wrapping portion. Well, I have already made my loop. I don't know if you can see it or not. Well, yeah, I've already made my loop, which will hold the string material for whatever necklace you want to make. And for the stone, I usually just look at that first and see where I want to start wrapping at. And I kind of just place the wire so I can show off the stone and I have too much wire that'll cover it, but also make sure that the wire is sturdy enough to wrap the stone and stay. I have a few tools here. So I'm just going to keep wrapping the wire to frame the stone. And since the stone is pretty flat, what I'm going to do here, just going to loop this through to make it more sturdy at the bottom section. You really don't need to use tools unless you're trying to make it taut, which is what I'm going to use this for. So now that I pulled the wire through and it's kind of a little more sturdier than if I were to use my hands, I'm just going to continue to frame the Aventurine crystal. So for this stone, I think I'm just going to cross the wire because it'll pretty much hold the stone in place. Every stone is wrapped different depending on the form of the stone and how I think it'll look after I'm finished. So what I'm going to do now is pretty much just combine these 2 wire pieces together. I'm going to use this other tool, which is the one with the rounder prongs. Is good for curling the wire. The one with the straighter tongs is better for pulling the wire pieces through if you need it, or just adjusting them. I'm going to use the curvy prongs to wrap this wire around the other piece, like so. I'm going to take my wire cutters, clip the extra piece. Then I'm going to take the piece that I clipped and kind of wrap that a little bit more so it's out of the way, so when you put the necklace on, it doesn't scratch you. You could always take a fine grade piece of sandpaper and sand this down later too if you're afraid that the metal is going to scratch you later. I normally don't sand my pieces down, but you can. I actually think I'm just going to bring it back up here and try to wrap it around the loop that I made earlier instead of wrapping it through more wire. And that's about it. Sometimes I like to kind of like, you can't tell that I'm moving the wire, but I like to move it to see if it moves a little bit. If it does move a little bit, I'll just go around the wire and kind of bend some pieces, and that gives it like a little design within the wire itself. So if you see some of my pieces that's bent like that, that is just ensuring that the wire stays in place really, and it gives it a cool design. This is optional. This is just how I like to wrap my pieces. It was actually pretty sturdy without me twisting it, but just like to give it a little design. And just to be sure, I'm gonna twist this bottom piece. So this is the final product. Very, very simple to do. It just depends on whether or not you want an extravagant design or not, if that's what you're going for. But I like to keep it simple so you can actually see the crystal. So these are the pendants that I normally use to make for necklaces. I have a few smaller pieces, like these for instance, but if you could see the size difference, this is about the size of a quarter, or to compare with this, it's about the same size, a little bit smaller. So you could also use smaller crystals or gems to wrap for necklaces, but I like to use a little bit bigger in size. But to also compare a bigger size, this stone is pretty big. So it's up to you if you want to drape this large crystal around your neck. So right here I have my toolbox. Just going to take out 2 clamps for the end of the necklace, which is what I normally use, and also a barrel closure. Well, you can see them better here. So I'm going to take my jewelry pieces, put them here, and this is the Aventurine necklace I'm going to finish off. So all I do is take the clamps and the end of the string and the clamp, and then we're just going to take, I don't know if you can see the clamp, but we're going to just bend one side over like that, and then just turn it and bend the other side over. And that's pretty much how you close the clamp. We're going to add the twist closure. So we're just going to loop this through the clamp that we just closed. And then we're going to close the twist closure back. Now it's secure. So I'm going to show you again on the other side how you do it. You put the string in the clamp, not so far that it covers the hole because you'll need to put the closure in there. I'm using my thumb to hold the string in place so it doesn't move. Close one side of the clamp like this, just by pushing it down. And then we're going to push down the other side of the clamp, just like this. Now it's closed. So we're going to take the other side of the twist closure. I actually think it's not called a twist closure. It's called something else. I just can't remember the name. I'm sorry. you're going to open it up so that there's a little gap there, and you're going to take the opposite side of the clamp that's still open, put the closure through the hole, just like that, and then we're going to close the closure. So now the closure of the necklace is complete, and you can now twist it open like this. So I'm now finished completing my necklace. But as I said, you don't have to do the minimum with the wire. It could look like this. You could wrap much more wire around any piece that you want. This is just how I do each piece differently. So this is a crystal that I had already made. This is solar quartz. Here's the aventurine crystal. I like to measure my necklace string out to 20 inches so it hangs in just the right places. And I also have crystals on my wrists and one on my finger. I don't know if you can see, but this is the aventurine necklace I just wrapped.